What's going on, everyone? My name is Eric and you're watching the Get Me Out of Here vlog. Behind me is one of the most famous ghost towns in the United States. This is Jerome, Arizona. The town was founded in 1876. At the time, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, this was one of the largest copper mines in the world. In fact, this was a boom town at the turn of the 20th century. Its population peaked at 10,000 people in 1920, and then because of the Great Depression, the fall of prices in copper and actually them depleting the copper ore here at the mine in the early 1950s, the mines closed and much of the population, the 10,000 people, left, and the population dwindled to right around 100 people in the 1950s and so forth. So this became a popular ghost town full of abandoned buildings, abandoned mine shafts, and supposedly lots and lots of ghosts from all the tragedies that happened here in the mines. Now today you can see that Jerome is starting to pick up again. People are moving back and it's become a tourist town here in the state of Arizona. So I am going to be staying right behind me at one of the most haunted hotels, the Grand Hotel here in Jerome, one of the most haunted hotels in the United States. So come with me on this journey. I'm excited to see if anything happens tonight, see if we see any ghosts, any paranormal activity here at the hotel, and also we'll be exploring the main streets of Jerome. There's supposed to be a lot of paranormal activity throughout this town. So looking forward to experiencing one of the most famous ghost towns in the United States and what they coined the wickedest town in the West. So follow me. Gazing upon Jerome, Arizona. Look at this town. Truly unique, built upon the side of this mountain. And look at the Grand Hotel here in Jerome, one of the most haunted hotels in the United States. It looks straight out of a Stephen King movie. And I've stayed at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, that inspired Stephen King to write The Shining. But I have to say, this hotel looks even more fitting to the horror novel, especially set in this old ghost town, this mining town here in Arizona. This is so cool. Wow, just across from that scenic view is apparently what is the largest wooden headframe still standing in the state of Arizona. This is the historic Audrey shaft headframe from the Little Daisy mine. From 1915 to 1938, almost 4 million tons of ore was extracted from this site. That is history still standing right there. That's incredible. I know you've heard of the coal miner's daughter, but have you heard of the copper miner's son? Yeah. Beat me up, Scotty. I wonder how many people they actually fit inside this at one time. That is incredible. I can't even imagine standing in this thing and getting lowered hundreds of feet under the ground. Here's another closer view of that head shaft. Look at this thing. Whoa, and you can even walk above the mine shaft. Look at this. That's the original mine shaft. And you can walk. They got this glass. It's kind of like the ledge at the Sears Tower in Chicago. You can actually stand above the opening to the mine shaft. Look at this. I don't know if I can get a good view of this. It's kind of hard. Maybe I can peek again through the grating, but look how far down that goes. I am standing above the mine shaft. Oh wow, and look, there's a comparison here too. The Audrey headframe shaft is taller than the Eiffel Tower. It's taller than the Empire State Building, 1,900 feet tall. That's taller than the Sears Tower in Chicago. Oh my gosh. If this glass broke under my feet, I would be falling for several seconds, and not, long enough that I would be well aware that I am falling to my death. That is something else. Look at that. Wow, that's amazing. That is never stood. Wow, I'm breathless. I can say I've never stood above an open mine shaft before in my life until now. So I can cross that off my bucket list, Jerome. Yeah. You know, I want to make a comment. It is wild to think how many men, 100 years ago were lowered into this mine shaft. I mean, there were hundreds of men that walked right here at the foot of the shaft and were lowered 1,900 feet below the ground on a daily basis. It's really weird to think about that, like exactly where I'm walking. I mean, it'd be like going to work every single day. Being lowered 1,900 feet into the shaft. That's unbelievable to me. The hard work that came out of this from all of those individuals. Okay, we're gonna drop a small rock down the mine shaft and listen for it. Ready? I'm ready. Did you hear it? Yeah, about 8 seconds. That's wild. 8-second fall. So you can actually think about your own death, Brendan, while you're falling. Okay, I'm gonna try dropping a rock again. I think I heard it. That's wild. Yeah, I think I heard it too. That is wild. It's like, about 8 seconds. Well, here we are, standing in front of the Grand Hotel, overlooking the city, the ghost town, and this amazing valley of Jerome. This is supposedly one of the most haunted hotels in Arizona, and it used to be a hospital. That's right, this building behind me was built in 1926 and opened in January of 1927 as a hospital. Over 8,000 people died here in the hospital between 1927 and 1952, early 1950s, when it closed. 8,000 people passed away within these walls. After the early 1950s, this place closed. It remained vacant, abandoned, until 1994, when the old hospital was purchased and renovated into a hotel. And it's been a hotel since its opening in 1996. So this is the hotel, the Grand Hotel here in Jerome. Look at these old-timey cars. Actually, this is cool. I get distracted very easily. Look at this in the garage at the front of the hotel, a 1928 Springfield Rolls-Royce Phantom 1. No, I didn't know that off the top of my head. I read this sign right here, but look at that. Some old-timey cars there. But the Grand Hotel of Jerome has been operating since 1996, but it supposedly still has a lot of remnants of the old hospital, and it's supposed to be extremely haunted from the spirits of the miners in the community that passed away here within these walls. So without further ado, let's go check in. It's kind of a weird design there. It's like a two-headed worm-looking thing. Anyway, this is the Grand Hotel. And here I am in the grand lobby of the hotel. This used to be the emergency room, believe it or not, when it was a hospital. So you actually check in and walk right into the old emergency room. And I'm loving this very cool looking jukebox from 1939, as well as this very gothic looking grandfather clock, because if you got to have a grandfather clock. Every haunted place deserves a grandfather clock. Now the first thing that really has caught my eye is this old elevator. I mean, look at this. They don't make them like this anymore. And I believe this was original to the hospital. So here we go. And I gotta say, I have never ridden in an elevator with these gates before. Oh, I think I have to shut this one first. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Look at this. So I'm standing in this old school elevator. This is probably the oldest elevator I've ever been in my life. And you actually have a key that you have to utilize the elevator. Look at that. I'm on the 4th floor, so here we go. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, and you can see the floors. Oh, this is straight out of a horror movie. Look at this. This is like the Tower of Terror, Disney World. Oh, this is amazing. And there it is. We are on the 4th floor. I have to open up this old school gate. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. Actually, it's an Otis elevator, company elevator. Otis is probably the most popular elevator company and builder of elevators, at least in the United States, maybe even the world. But look at that. That is incredible. That is a thing of the past. That is a relic. Reminds me of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I just realized that it says here, please use the elevator with caution during thunderstorms. Should we lose power, the elevator will not move until power is restored. You know, this just keeps getting better and better, right? This haunted hotel even have a warning saying don't use the elevator during thunderstorms. So just checking into our room for the first time. We are room 40, which is at the end of this hallway on the 4th floor. We got these old school keys, which I love seeing in old hotels. Oh wait, it's this one. There we go. Oh, this is a 1 bed. Wait a minute. They told me 2. Oh, dude, it's one of these. It flips out. Oh, that is cool. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen a flip out bed in person before. Oh, that is cool. Check that out. Look at that. That is freaking sweet. So as I said, just checked into room 40 here at the Grand Hotel, one of the most haunted hotels in the state of Arizona. And we're on the 4th floor. This is the top floor. Apparently this was a maternity ward. So they had a lot of newborns here. This was a birthing room, apparently back in the day. So who knows, maybe we'll get the ghost of a hot mom tonight. Hard to say. And also, this was also a TB ward for a while too on the 4th floor. So there could be, TB wards there isn't usually a good survival rate for TB wards, so there very well potentially could be some hauntings, some ghosts left over here on the 4th floor from that. So let's take a look at the room. So far it's very clean, it's nice. Here's 1 bed here, and then the other bed was pulled out of the closet, which is cool. It's like something that always makes me think of the movie Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? But it's kind of like an old school inner city thing. I feel like they have the bed pull out of the closet. And what's also interesting with this room that I've noticed is you've got 2 bathrooms, one for the bathtub and shower, and then another one here for the toilet and sink. So you can see here there's another bathroom with just a toilet and an old school sink. And I mean, look at this the window here. I almost said mirror. The window just reminds me of like an old hospital room. This elongated window. You can't even see outside here for, I'm assuming, privacy. I don't know if this was a bathroom back in the day, but yeah, and then I love these old radiator heaters. These are awesome. I love these things. Yeah, and there's like some old clocks here. We do have a flat screen TV on the wall, and there's this old school telephone that you can pick up and call the front desk. There's a back view of Cleopatra Mountain, so really not a lot to look at from the back of the hotel. The windows are very dirty, and then the front of the hotel, this is really what sells this room, in my opinion. Take a look at this view. Look at that. That is just breathtaking. And that is, I think that's Red Rocks or Sedona straight ahead. And behind that, I believe that is Mount Humphrey, the highest peak in the state of Arizona. It's over 12,000 feet tall. You can see the snow caps, but the view is really what sells this room. So yeah, it's a nice, cozy room. Now, one thing I will say that I think is kind of weird is it smells like a hospital to me. It's got that weird, clean smell that isn't like a hotel, but it smells like that hospital smell when you go into a hospital. I don't know how to explain it. It's got like that. It's got kind of a weird, like a clean smell. I know I'm not describing that well, but it smells like a hospital in this room, which makes sense. This hotel used to be a hospital like 100 years ago, but it still has that scent to it, I feel like, even though it was abandoned for 40 years. Well, here I am on the 4th floor. This is the floor we're staying on, room 40. And this used to be an open air floor, is what I heard, in the 1920s and into the 1930s. I like this old organ. That's cool. My grandma has one just like this. Apparently this used to be an open air ward when the hospital opened, and then it was later turned into a maternity ward. And then after that, it was a tuberculosis ward for TB patients. One thing I wanted to point out, there is a room at the opposite end of the hallway that does not have a room number, but instead has this gash in the side of the door, which makes me wonder, I have to keep my eyes open for Jack Torrance. Might be wandering around here with an axe. This kind of reminds me of The Shining. Well, that is the 4th floor. We're heading downstairs to the 3rd floor. I mean, look at these dimly lit stairwells with the old light and the radiator heater, those steam radiator heaters. This is so cool. I mean, you can tell that this used to be a hospital, that it wasn't originally a hotel, just the way, I mean, look at this. There's no corners here. They're curved walls. These stairwells are pretty wide compared to most back stairwells for hotels. And here I am on the 3rd floor. This is the 3rd floor here. Gosh, this place reminds me more of like the Shining Hotel than the actual Shining Hotel, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. This is incredible. What in the world? Look at these old pictures. An old scale down there. They've got a vending room area here as well. Oh, whoa, look at this. What the heck? Was it like an old scale? What? You know, I was telling you earlier, I'm getting weird hospital vibes, and look at this. They still have some of the theming in here as well. I don't even know what this room used to be. Maybe I don't want to know. Maybe they had body parts in here back in the day. I don't know. But look at that. There's an old scale in here too in the vending area, so you can check your fat, see how fat you are before you get snacks in the middle of the night, and then feel guilty about it. Now, on the 3rd floor here, this is room 32. And from what I've read online, room 32 is supposed to be the most haunted room in this entire hotel. Right here. I have no idea what goes on in there or what the stories are. That's just what I read online and have seen on a couple TV shows, but yeah, that's supposed to be one of the most haunted rooms in the hotel. And look at this old jukebox from 1934 that they've got here on display. It almost looks like it works. You see the lights are on. It's got jazz music, Duke Ellington, the Andrews Sisters, Louis Armstrong. I love Louis Armstrong. And look at that, it takes nickels. This might actually work. I don't have a nickel on me, but I'll have to come back and maybe play some Louis Armstrong for the ghost of room 32. Look at this door on the second floor. This looks like it's straight out of a horror movie. Look at this. I don't see a room number on this either. This looks like something out of like Resident Evil. Look at that. That is wild. This looks like a door you'd enter for like a final boss fight in a video game. I really want to know what's in there. That is so cool. But anyway, this is the second floor. And again, you can tell that this used to be a hospital. Look how wide these doors are. I mean, these are meant, they're wide enough to roll patients in and out of. And then, of course, you have the old, before air conditioning, there was probably a glass pane that went above the door there for airflow. You see that above all these doors, too. But, yeah, some of these doors are just, again, very, very wide doors throughout this hotel / former hospital. On the first floor now, look at this old employee time clock that I guess was used in Rockford, Illinois, at a factory from 1908 to 1909. And look at this. You can actually, employees would use this to buzz in. Like if I'm employee number 40, because we're staying in room 40. Where's 40? I guess this would be 40. You would just press this dial. And you could clock in and out. That is awesome. And here in the hotel is a restaurant and bar called the Asylum. So you can eat here, you can drink here. This is awesome. So I don't know if we'll try the food here tonight, but it would be great to at least get a drink at the bar, kind of like the Stanley Hotel in The Shining. Maybe they have Lloyd, the bartender here, ready to serve me. We'll have to check that out later. Whoa, look at that. That is wicked looking. There's like also some devilish looking head with a spinal cord attached to it. And this is the sign that you see in Ouija board fashion for the Asylum restaurant. Yes, I want to eat there. One thing I'm loving about this hotel is all of these antiques that they have in the hallway and all these really different types of jukeboxes. Look at this one. They got the records kind of fanned out. It's a 1928 Mills Highboy jukebox. You definitely don't see anything remotely like this anymore. Amazing antiques that I would never expect to see just sitting in the hallway of a hotel. But look at this. These records here were given to Mr. Henry Ford from Thomas Edison. Look at that. Special record for Henry Ford. And they're just sitting here on display on the first floor of the hotel. Heading down to the main floor. Look at this clock. That is incredible looking. Wow, very ornamental, kind of a gothic looking clock that you would expect to see in a haunted place.
I called my owner up and I showed him that video, said, look, I'm not crazy, here you go, here's the proof of why I called you on a Saturday. He spent 2.5 hours in that room and couldn't find a single thing wrong.
Wow.
He came downstairs, hair all frazzled, and he was like, the only thing that's wrong is the hairdryer won't work. Like, okay, they'll live without a hairdryer for the night.
Wow. That is really wild. And then they just stop and then they go right at it again.
And they just go right back at it.
Which room was that?
So it's 37B, part of the old psychiatric unit.
Oh, wow. That's creepy. Here on the main level of the Grand Hotel, this is the elevator actually, this old school elevator.
There is coffee
And right there on the side is the maintenance room, and that is the infamous room where apparently a man had his neck broken, was killed, murdered back there, and he was set up to make it look like he was crushed by this elevator. And to this day remains a mystery, but apparently someone was killed in this room, had his neck snapped. And Ghost Adventures, the show with Zach Baggins on Travel Channel, they actually reenacted part of that scene. I think I remember watching that episode years ago, and Zach actually laid on his back there with the elevator coming down upon his head and had to get out of the way at the last second. So that all happened right here on the main floor. You just walk up to the elevator, and it's right there on your left. So you can actually kind of get a peek of the maintenance room. Here comes the elevator now.
So with that elevator, wherever you're at, okay? You get a couple signatures, and then you guys will be all set.
All right, back in the elevator. You know what? You don't even have to stay at this hotel. Just paying to use the elevator would be good enough for me. This is amazing. Oh, this is awesome. Jeez, I mean, look at this. Oh, I cannot get enough of this amazing elevator. And again, it was an original to this hospital in 1926. You just don't make them like this anymore. It's fun too. You can wave at people when you go by. It always makes me think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When you slide that door open. If you haven't seen that movie, you should. All right, so that is the Grand Hotel here in Jerome. What we're going to do next is walk the streets of this historic mining town, this historic ghost town, and explore some of the shops and grab a bite to eat at this unique restaurant they have in town. And the sun is setting over the town of Jerome. You can see the lampposts here are lit. And night is about to rear its head here on the Grand Hotel. Walking down towards the streets of Jerome. Look at this. This looks like a waterfall, right? Like a water slide. This kind of reminds me of like the Goonies. Man, if it wasn't so cold out, I might try this out. You could like probably just jump right in and slide all the way down the mountainside. It's probably very filthy water, a lot of jagged concrete, but hey, be fun. It's pretty cool. Another skull with its spinal cord still attached to it. Just looking out on this balcony. Oh my gosh, look at this. We just saw below those heads with the spinal cords, there's this black Gothic cast iron gate. And there's like, look at that, Medusa's head with this really cool medieval looking chandelier hanging above it. That is awesome. Wow. And you know, now that I think about it, those heads up there have snakes on them. Weird. Yeah, I don't know what this building is, but oh, wait a minute. It's like a Masonic lodge. It explains it all now. It's a Masonic lodge. This is awesome. I feel like I always run into these things. Interesting. We're discovering so many things here in Jerome, and we've only walked like maybe 100 feet from the hotel, but look at this. There's like another weird gated entryway below this crumbling stairwell. Oh, look at that. It says Snake Sanctuary. For Surgeon's House? What the heck is... I don't even know what this is. Weird. Looking inside, there's like some graffiti, but nothing really on the other side. It's just... I know it's kind of dark. We shined a flashlight earlier, but it's just the bottom of the stairs, so nothing really to look at. Oh, it's a bed and breakfast, the Surgeon's House. You know, I wonder if this is a surgeon that worked at the hospital when it was, well, now what's now the Grand Hotel, but what was the hospital, that the surgeon may have lived there. I don't know. We are going to grab some food at the Haunted Hamburger here in downtown Jerome. See if there's actually some stories, some ghosts, or if they just called it haunted because this is a ghost town and they wanted to fit the theme. I don't know, but I love these skeletons trying to climb up the building at the Haunted Hamburger. This is great. I just love these skeletons trying to scale to the top of the Haunted Hamburger. Reminds me of the movie Jason and the Argonauts. It's a 1960s classic with a skeleton battle. That skeleton's trying to help his buddy up, but look at that. These hamburgers are so good that even the dead want it. Even found a couple skeletons grilling out under the porch. He's got a nice comfy chair, he's relaxing. Look, there's a hand. There's a hand on the grill. That is great, I love that. Loving the theming here at the Haunted Hamburger. Well, look at this. It's a room, or a restaurant with a view. This place is packed, so we're sitting outside, but I can't complain. Look at the sunset here over the valley, got the moon out. And you've got Mount Humphrey straight ahead, which is amazing. I think I gotta go with a haunted burger that seems fitting at a place called the Haunted Hamburger. And it's also family owned and operated since 1994, which is the same year that the hotel we're staying at started its renovations to become a hotel and not a hospital. They also have famous house cocktails, and I'm loving the themes. The famous Palace Margarita, also called the Haunt-arita, and they've got a zombie here too. Starting out with a boozy shake. Look at this, they even serve it in a mason glass. I love that. And I went with the Copper Miner. That's what this one is called. Had to go with the history here, being a copper mining town, so I went with the Copper Miner. It's got vodka-infused caramel ice cream. They even have the cherry on top. This is awesome. So let's see what this tastes like. Whoa, that is fantastic. Yeah, I can taste the vodka, but it complements the ice cream perfectly. That is insane. These are incredible shakes. They're handmade here, and they infuse, this is just one of them. This one has vodka. They also have bourbon-infused shakes as well. Definitely a must at the Haunted Hamburger. Get a boozy shake. Dinner is served. Look at this. The Haunted Hamburger. It's got guacamole on it. It's got bacon. I think there's grilled onions in there. Oh, no, there's onions right there. I can't even remember what else was on this thing. Cheddar cheese, green pepper, or green chilies. I got a side of fries, and still finishing this amazing shake, the boozy shake. So looking forward to diving into this Haunted Hamburger. Look at the size of this thing. There we go. See how haunted this thing really is. Well, this thing, I can tell you, it's not horrific. This is a delicious hamburger. There's so many toppings packed on this thing. It's falling apart in my hands. I gotta say, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being Casper the Ghost, 10 being Poltergeist, I would give this a Poltergeist. This is so good. It's excellent. This is a Poltergeist. This is no Casper the Ghost when it comes to food, to burgers here in Jerome. Awesome burgers. So the Haunted Hamburger, I confirmed, is haunted. This building was built in 1910, and it was originally a boarding house for the miners working in the copper mines. And it went through a number of different hands. It was people lived here. It was a house for some time. It's been a number of shops, but they turned it into the Haunted Hamburger restaurant in 1994. And supposedly, when they were renovating this building to create the restaurant, there was a lot of poltergeist activity going on here. Doors opening and shutting by themselves, things moving around, noises that they couldn't explain. So supposedly, this is a haunted location, a haunted building since 1910. And yes, the Haunted Hamburgers are delicious. Just don't put ectoplasm on your burger. It's not a good topping. And check it out, they've got a gift shop too at the Haunted Hamburger. You can get T-shirts. They've got skeletons showing these off on display. They've also got a lot of weird skeletons all over this restaurant. But look at all these T-shirts that they sell here at the Haunted Hamburger. So good swag and good burgers. and it's haunted. Another thing that I absolutely love about Jerome is all of these, what look to be like closed off mine shafts scattered about town. This one's still got Halloween decorations inside. Little skeleton and a ghost and a pumpkin head. These things are all over this town, and I'm sure there's a lot of abandoned mine shafts everywhere here since this town is located along the side of the mountain. Look at this, dude. It's like, oh wow. Oh wow. Oh, it's like a cell. Look at that. They're like an old shelf. A couple old shelves. That is weird. Maybe it's the local jail. Could be the local jail. Yeah, it does. It says bank in tiles. Wait, is that might be the old bank vault?
Could be.
Whoa, so this is like an old bank foundation, maybe. That is wild. I mean, you can see the brick. Dude, that would make sense. Interesting.
And an electrical outlet there?
Yeah. Maybe this was an old bank cell.
Damn.
That is wild. This really is a ghost town. A lot of a lot of mysteries here. But yeah, that could be the tile from an old bank. Right here.
I sing a song with my friends from town. Underneath the J. Take it slow. Ain't got nowhere to go.
This store looks so cool. 1918 Liberty Theater and Gifts. It's closed right now. Try to hit that up tomorrow, but wanted to point out these wild t-shirts. Look at this, the 3 blind mice. Oh, that's so disgusting. Wizard of Oz and this Dark Alice in Wonderland t-shirt. That is freaking insane. Look at that. Try it again, Brendan. It doesn't go? It's pretty cool. They've got these giant wheels located around the downtown area here. And I don't know if these are actual relics from the mines or if they're just kind of a tribute, a replica. Looking at this closer, I think they cut these. I think this is one wheel they cut in half. It had something to do with the mines around town. So yeah, that's my final guess.
So generous, guys. Thank you so much, guys.
I am inside Paul and Jerry's Saloon. This is the oldest family operating bar in the state of Arizona. This building was built in 1899 and they took it over. The family purchased it in 1939 and they've been running it ever since. So I am here, gonna have a beer at one of the oldest family operating bars in the state of Arizona. Now, the oldest bar in Arizona is actually in Prescott. It's called the Palace Saloon, which I'm planning to visit tomorrow. But for now, I'll settle for this. But look at this wallpaper, this old Western, this Wild West looking wallpaper. It's like straight out of the movies. And of course, they've got this old clock ticking on the wall. These booths. And this marble-topped bar right here that was apparently built in Chicago, or made in Chicago. So this is, I feel like I'm in the Wild West. That's all I gotta say. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy a beer here at one of the oldest bars in the state of Arizona. Well, cheers from the oldest family-operated bar in the state of Arizona. I got a Tower Station. This is it's local to Flagstaff. So Flagstaff is like an hour drive away from Jerome. So sticking with the regional beers. So cheers.
This is our time. That looks like serious stuff.
Oh yeah, delicious IPA. And the brewery is the Mother Road Brewing Company because it's on Route 66 in Flagstaff. Here's a photo of Paul, the original owner of Paul's Place. He managed here from 1939 to 1971, and then his son took over after that. I love these old ceilings as well. Not sure what kind of material that is. I think it's like tin maybe, or I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure, but it's very reminiscent of like a late 1800s, early 1900s kind of bar and saloon. There's so much memorabilia on the walls here at this bar. This says Ode to the Redbeards of Jerome. It's a bunch of local guys that used to hang out here at the saloon in the 90s. Getting a lot of glare, but a couple of them have passed away since then. But I love it when bars pay tribute to regular customers. I just think there's something kind of cool about that. It's kind of like the show Cheers. It's kind of like a small family. They get together here. There's also like a poem right here too, Ode to Redbeards of Jerome. So I know it's kind of hard to see because of the glare, but this poster here is from the early 1900s. It's of Custer's Last Stand, and it was actually a marketing poster from Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, the brewery in St. Louis. And I guess back in 1910, they distributed a bunch of this poster to several bars and saloons across the United States. But this one right here is the original one. The original Budweiser poster with Custer's Last Stand on it. This is poster number 1 right here. It's pretty dark out, but one last shot of the outside of Paul and Jerry's Saloon here in downtown Jerome. Yes, they have Fireball. Look at this. So there's a plaque here saying that this was the Bartlett Hotel. It's burned down since then, but they still have, look at this. They still have the foundation and parts of the old hotel just sitting here, a shell of its former self. But look at this. They've got 2 toilets. They have 2 toilets just sitting there. And I guess, what the heck is that? A toilet has like an upper...
It's a sink.
Oh, that's a sink, so you could pee and wash your hands at the same time. Look at that. And then there's like an outhouse here with a ghost inside. But so I've heard this from locals. Apparently, if you throw a quarter and make it in the toilet, you'll have good luck. And I don't have any change on me. Otherwise, I would try to throw it. I don't know if you get anything if you get it in the sink. But if you make it in the toilet, look at all the coins. Now that I say that, look at all the coins of people who have attempted to make it in the toilet, but missed. The side of the old Bartlett Hotel, you can see the wood slats there inside the plaster wall. These doors. Look at that. They even have like jail cell looking doors or something over there. You can even see those wood slats on the ceiling above. Yeah, the skeleton of the old Bartlett Hotel here in downtown Jerome. Okay, those curtains obviously have to be newer, but look at that. Inside there's like, it's like an old wheel or something. I don't know what that is. Look at the trees just growing out of it too. It's amazing to me that they just leave this here. I mean, this truly is a ghost town. And there's an old-timey fire truck inside the Bartlett Hotel as well. You can see there are pickaxes. Little tribute to the thousands of miners who worked and lived in this town. And there's some more. Oh, wow. What the heck is that? That is crazy looking. Kind of looks like Evil Bender from Futurama. Oh, what the heck? What is going on here? There's a like, I don't even know what kind of material that would be. But it's like a torture chamber going on here. It says bedtime at the Bartlett Hotel. Oh my God! If that is what a night stay at the Bartlett Hotel was like, then I am glad. I'm glad that it's no more. So this is the sliding jail. It was an old jail here in downtown Jerome. Look at that! You can see a rusted out bed in this room as well. But apparently this jail was located further up the mountain near the downtown region, and because of supposedly the mining activities going on, it caused the ground it caused like a fault in the ground to fracture, and this jail slid 200 feet down the side of the mountain, and here it lies in this small park just south of the downtown part of Jerome. So this is really weird. So yeah, this is the old jail cell, and talking to someone that runs the ghost tour, she told us that some story of a poor miner, who was trying to date a wealthy man's daughter, and he didn't like that. Her father didn't like that, so they threw him in this jail. And apparently, overnight, her father lit the jail on fire, burning the kid alive and everyone else in this jail. And you could see the burn marks there in black on the top of the concrete, supposedly. So a lot of death occurred here in the sliding jail. Well, that has been a taste of the city, town of Jerome, Arizona. I'll be checking back into my room 40 here at the Grand Hotel, and getting ready to embark on a night exploration of one of the most haunted hotels in the state of Arizona. So stay tuned. I don't know what I'll capture, but if there's anything that happens, I will do my best to capture it and share it with you. I hope you enjoyed your tour of Jerome, and I will be seeing you in a bit as I explore the haunted hallways of the Grand Hotel here in Jerome, Arizona, also known as the wickedest city of the West. So thanks for watching. This is Eric with the Get Me Out of Here vlog, and it's time for me to get out of here and go in there.
Mountains full of snow,